7 minutes ago, you were a different person. 7 minutes ago, your brain was wired to a past that no longer serves you. The fact that your eyes are reading these words right now at this precise moment in history is the first crack in the armor of your old reality. The universe just slipped a note under the door of your consciousness. The question is not whether you will read it. The question is whether you will have the courage to open the door. Most people spend their entire lives believing they are victims of circumstance. They wake up, follow the same routine, think the same thoughts, feel the same feelings, and then wonder why their life looks exactly the same as it did 5 years ago. This is not life. This is a program. You are running on autopilot. Your brain has become a hard drive filled with old data, and every single day you hit the replay button. You are not living. You are recalling. You are not creating. You are recycling. The appearance of this message in your field of awareness is what we call a provocation. It is an interference pattern from the quantum field. It is a signal that your system is ready to be upgraded. When you see something that feels like it was meant for you, that is not your imagination running wild. That is your future self, the version of you that has already evolved, reaching back through time to wake you up. The question is, will you listen to the whisper or will you wait for the crash? Look at the science for a moment. Your brain is not designed to create your future. Your brain is designed to create your future based on your past. It is a record of everything you have ever done, everywhere you have ever been, and everything you have ever suffered. When you think the same thoughts, you fire the same neural networks. When you fire the same networks, you make the same choices. Those choices produce the same behaviors. Those behaviors create the same experiences. Those experiences generate the same feelings, and those feelings trigger the same thoughts. This is the loop. This is the prison, and you have been the warden. 7 minutes ago, you had the opportunity to break that loop. You made a choice to pay attention to something different. That tiny gap between stimulus and response, that split second where you decided to watch this instead of scrolling past it, that is where all of your power lives. That is the space where miracles are born. Because in that gap, you are no longer a creature of habit. In that gap, you are pure consciousness choosing a new destiny. Now, let us talk about this date, March 7th. Do not misunderstand me. I am not talking about a magic trick. I am not telling you to sit on your couch and wait for the calendar to flip so that the heavens can pour gold into your lap. That is not how transformation works. March 7th is a symbol. It represents the moment in linear time when the accumulation of your inner work becomes so great that it has no choice but to materialize in your outer world. It is the tipping point. It is the day your internal state overpowers your external circumstances. If you are seeing this, it is because the date means something to your soul. Maybe it is a birthday, maybe it is an anniversary of a loss, maybe it is just a Thursday that feels heavier than the rest. It does not matter. What matters is that you have attached significance to it. And significance is energy. Your attention and your intention are the two most powerful forces in the universe. When you point them at a specific point in time, you begin to collapse the wave of infinite potential into a concrete reality. To shift your reality, you must stop living in the timeline of the old self. The old self lives in the past. The old self is defined by the wounds, the betrayals, the failures, and the limitations. The old self looks at March 7th and says, I hope something good happens. That is the language of a beggar. The new self, the one who has already shifted, looks at March 7th and says, I am the cause of what happens. That is the language of a creator. You cannot think your way into a new life. Thinking is the language of the analytical mind. The analytical mind can only process what it already knows. It is a closed loop. To shift, you must enter the unknown. You must leave the logical mind at the door and step into the body, because the body does not know the difference between a real experience and an imagined one. The body is the unconscious mind. It is the chemical factory that produces the emotions you feel. If you want to know who you really are, do not listen to your thoughts. Listen to your body. Your body is the printout of your past. Every ache, every tension, every chronic fatigue is a thought that you have thought so many times that it turned into matter. Your body has memorized your misery. It has become an expert at being you. And if you try to change your life without changing the emotional state of your body, you will fail. You will always revert back to the familiar feeling. This is why meditation is not optional. This is why silence is not a luxury. In the silence, you stop feeding the body the same emotional signals. You stop pumping cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream based on memories that no longer exist. In the silence, you begin to teach your body on a cellular level what the future feels like. You begin to practice the emotion of the event before it happens. You begin to feel whole when nothing has changed yet. You begin to feel grateful before the check arrives. You begin to feel free while standing in the middle of the cage. This is the mechanism of the shift. It is not positive thinking, it is neurological rewiring, it is the death of the old self. And the old self does not go down without a fight. It will scream, it will doubt, it will remind you of every time you failed before. It will show you evidence from your past to prove that your future is hopeless. That voice is not you. That voice is the program. That voice is the ghost of a person who no longer exists. 7 minutes ago, you started this process. You said yes to something unknown. In this moment, right now, you have a choice to make. You can let your mind wander back to the grocery list, the work email, the argument you had last week, or you can stay here. You can stay in this gap. You can decide that for the next few minutes, you are going to feel your way into the future instead of thinking your way through the past. I want you to consider something radical. What if March 7th is not a date on the calendar? What if March 7th is a state of being? What if it is the day you finally stop apologizing for who you are becoming? What if it is the day you stop explaining yourself to people who are determined to misunderstand you? What if it is the day you stop trying to control the uncontrollable and instead you control the only thing you have ever had control over, which is your energy? The quantum model of reality tells us that everything is energy. Your body is energy vibrating at a certain speed. Your thoughts are energy vibrating at a much faster, more subtle speed. When your thoughts and your feelings are aligned, they create a coherent electromagnetic signature. That signature is what broadcasts into the field. That signature is what attracts matching circumstances. If your signature is one of lack, fear, and resentment, you will attract more circumstances that validate lack, fear, and resentment. If your signature is one of wholeness, freedom, and love, the field has no choice but to organize matter to match that frequency. This is not wishful thinking. This is physics. This is the hardwiring of the universe. The problem is that most people are broadcasting a mixed signal. They say they want abundance, but their body feels bankrupt. They say they want love, but their body feels unworthy. The universe does not hear your words. The universe feels your vibration. It responds to the loudest signal, and the loudest signal is always the one coming from your body. So I am going to ask you a direct question, and I want you to answer it honestly. If your body is the printout of your past, what is it printing right now? Is it printing anxiety? Is it printing resentment? Is it printing the same story of being overlooked, undervalued, and unseen? If it is, then you are not moving toward March 7th. You are moving in a circle. You are running on a treadmill of your own making. The shift begins when you take radical responsibility. It begins when you stop blaming your parents, your partner, your boss, or the economy. It begins when you look in the mirror and you say, I am the one who has been thinking these thoughts. I am the one who has been feeling these feelings, and I am the only one who can change them. That is not a burden. That is freedom. Because if you are the cause of your suffering, you are also the cure. There is a version of you that exists on March 7th. That version is not worried. That version is not anxious. That version is not checking the bank account every 5 minutes to see if anything changed. That version is living from the end. That version is so secure in their being that they do not need the external world to validate them. That version is magnetic. That version is powerful. That version is you, but only if you decide to become them now. You cannot wait for the feeling to come after the event. You must generate the feeling before the event. This is the law. This is the secret that the mystics have been whispering for thousands of years. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It is not out there. It is not in a new job, a new relationship, or a new house. It is in the way you feel when you close your eyes. It is in the way you breathe when the world is falling apart around you. It is in the quiet confidence that says, I am not my circumstances. So let us practice right here, right now, in the middle of these words. Close your eyes if you are able. If you are reading, just soften your focus. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let go of the tension in your shoulders. Let go of the clench in your jaw. Let go of the story you have been telling yourself all day. Now, I want you to bring to mind the March 7th version of you, the one who has already shifted, the one who is living the reality you say you want. Do not visualize the scenery. Do not visualize the props. Visualize the person. How are they standing? Are their shoulders back? Is their breathing deep? Is their heart open? Now, I want you to borrow the feelings of that person. If that person is healthy, what do they feel in their body? Do they feel light? Do they feel strong? Generate that feeling, amplify it. If that person is free, what does freedom feel like? Does it feel like expansion in the chest? Does it feel like warmth? Feel it right now in this body, in this moment. This is not imagination. This is chemistry. You are releasing a different set of peptides into your bloodstream. You are signaling to your genes that the environment has changed. You are telling your body, we are not in the past anymore. We are in the future, and the future feels like this. Do not let your analytical mind interrupt this. Do not let it tell you that you are faking it. You are not faking it. You are creating it. Every great inventor, every great artist, every great leader has done this. They felt the end result before it existed. They lived in the reality of the completed masterpiece before the paint ever touched the canvas. This is your birthright. This is how you were designed to operate. When you open your eyes, you will return to the same room. The same furniture will be there. The same clock will be ticking, but you will not be the same because you have just taught your body what the future feels like. You have just created a new neurological pathway. You have just fired a new circuit. And if you do this consistently, if you do this every single day between now and March 7th, that circuit will become the new superhighway. The old roads will grow over with weeds. The old self will starve from lack of attention. This is the work. It is not easy. It is the hardest thing you will ever do because it requires you to feel good for no reason. It requires you to be whole when everything around you is broken. It requires you to be the light in the middle of the darkness. But that is what leaders do. That is what creators do. That is what the new self does. 7 minutes ago, you were given a signal. You answered it. You are still here. You are still reading. That means something. That means you are ready. That means the old reality is already crumbling. The cracks are showing, the light is getting in. Do not seal the cracks. Do not run back to the familiar. Let it crumble. Let it fall. Because on the other side of the rubble is a foundation strong enough to hold the life you were actually meant to live. March 7th is coming, but it is not coming to you. It is coming through you. You are the portal. You are the event. You are the one the universe has been waiting for. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for proof. Be the proof. Be the permission. Be the shift. See you on the other side.